I wanted to share first how I got started and what happened to me earlier this year, which led me to the different patches I use and why I wanted to find something to help with the hormones. I studied a course under Dr. Bradley Nelson, and his book is The Emotion Code, and the Body Code is the one that I use as my Bible. He was 30 years as a chiropractor, and he put together this mind body connection. I studied and became a practitioner with the emotion code. And I think, Judy, you originally came to me because of this mind body
Mhm.
connection.
Yep,
Is that correct?
yep,
Yes.
definitely.
And then when our conversations kept going to do with the patches, then we both decided the patches and what I had learned through doing the body code kind of synced together and they've kind of worked off of each other, so to speak. So that is how I first got introduced to the patches. So I was on them, and then last November, I found a tumor, and I, of course, went in for a biopsy, and it was determined I had cancer. So I went in January 9th, had surgery to have the tumor removed. I went into the surgery with the Liberty and Defend and the Peace patch on. And then after I came out of the surgery, the first thing I did was put the Freedom patch on. Sent home with prescriptions, did not fill the prescriptions, just stayed with the patches. No pain, no nothing. Good for me. February 15th, I went back in for a second surgery to have the lymph nodes removed, and they came back negative. That was good news. But on March 28th, I went back in to have the first incision reopened because I developed a hematoma. So they took that out. And again, through all three surgeries, I went in with the three patches: Liberty, Defend, and the Peace patch. Put the Freedom on afterwards. Never filled any of the prescription. And to date, I still have not taken any drugs. It was recommended that I do radiation, and I declined. So, the next phase was, I got a follow-up call from a doctor saying, "Well, you need to go on hormone pills for the next 5 years." And I'm going, and as he's listing off this long of a list of all the side effects, and I said, "Is this a drug?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Okay, so what's the benefits?" And he said, "Well, you get to live 5% longer." And it took all the strength inside of me not to laugh at him. I'm sorry. So I said to him, I said, "So you mean to tell me instead of living to 81, I'm only going to live to 80?" And there was dead silence on the other end of the phone. So I said, "No, I'm not doing the drugs. I'm just going to stay with my patches." So I spent the next while trying to figure out what patches were going to help me with this hormone situation because, like many of yous, um, I can sleep, but it's off and on, off and on. You know, you're up through the night, you're not. Energy's down, different things that we develop as we age, correct? So I decided I wanted to try the rocket patch. This was an explanation that Dr. Toka showed. And the brain, if you look on the right hand side, those are muscles. So when they put the patch on, as long as it has full contact, as where skin moves slightly, there's a vibration created. And the vibration goes up through the nerves, which are those fine lines that are attached to the pads. Those little pads are connected to the muscles. The muscles are then, if you look on the left side, connecting to the spinal column, which is going back up to your brain. And through my book and through doing a little research online, I found that the hypothalamus, right, is in your brain, and this is what it's controlling. And this is what I think, this is just my opinion, is what tends to fall out of balance when we age. Like it normally looks after regulating blood pressure and the hunger and the thirst. That was me. I feel like I always need to be eating. I never had that sense of fullness. Moods, yeah, well, we all go through those. The sex drive, well, hey, I've been on my own for a lot of years, so that really doesn't fit on me. The body temperature, I really struggled with that, although the Liberty and the Defend have helped a lot with that. And the circadian rhythm is what is affecting our sleep patterns. So, and our walking rhythms, right? So I decided I wanted to test the rocket patch out and find out where it would take me. And a lot of those things have now been alleviated. I can eat a small portion meal and I feel full. I feel like my body's got what it needs. My sleep, I'm a really sound sleeper now. Like I just and one of the other things he mentioned, like I know a lot of yous try the REM patch, but I found the REM didn't do anything for me. And I know a lot of people say, well, you got to be on it for a while before it affects you. But I found using the rocket patch just gave me that better sleep that I was looking for. And so I don't even worry about trying to use the REM patch anymore because I get a good sound sleep. And the thing is if there is nothing with your sleep pattern, if there's nothing wrong with your sleep, like if there's no organ in the brain or gland in the brain that is out of balance, then it doesn't matter whether you put one REM patch on or 10 REM patches on, it's not going to work for you. So I think the thing is try and find the patch that fixes the issue or repairs the issue or improves it. And I found the rocket patch did that for me. So I think maybe if the REM isn't working for you, try the rocket patch because it I love it. I think it's a great patch to have. And I've used the body code on myself, removing negative energy because if you listen to the last video that Dr. J did when he was interviewed, he talks all about vibration in the body because that's what we are. We're a vibration that's moving at such a fast speed that's making us a solid. But that's why we are all connected through the universe because we're all a vibration that's connected to everybody else. So that's my opinion of the rocket patch. That's the results I've had. And if you go on to Amazing Patch Stories, there are some phenomenal stories with women that have had one I have here from September 6th was this woman. She had a partial hysterectomy and she had a lot of issues, and she had to take shots for testosterone and other symptoms she was having. And then she just had to go for emergency surgery to have an ovary removed. And then she came back and she said she was done with the shots, done with the pills, went on the rocket patch, and all her problems are gone. So I'm going, it's just I recommend the rocket patch.
Wow, Diane, thank you. When Jay met with Bob and myself the very first time, he had a chart and it showed the hypothalamus axis, and he
Yeah,
said you put the patch on, it sends a message through the networks. But what he has done, he's been able to decode these networks and
yeah,
recode them, so it's sends all the messages right to the hypothalamus axis, the HTA. So
yeah,
what you're saying, and it took him when he start told us how he did it. It truly was amazing to learn
yeah,
to decode.